Hello and welcome to Prepspot. In this video, we are going to know about a detailed analysis of the recent benzene disaster in the Czech Republic, a topic that has not only captured international headlines but also serves as a critical case study for those preparing for competitive examinations. On 15th March 2025, at approximately 3 a.m. local time, an unprecedented incident unfolded at the Chemco Limited chemical plant located in Ostrava, a major industrial hub in the Moravian-Silesian region known for its long-standing ties to coal mining and steel production. At this early hour, a catastrophic failure occurred when an aging storage tank, which had been in operation since 1990 and had not undergone the necessary modern inspections, suddenly malfunctioned due to a defective pressure relief valve, leading to the uncontrolled release of approximately 50 tons of benzene, a volatile, colorless, and highly flammable liquid used extensively in the production of plastics and other chemicals, and recognized internationally as a potent carcinogen. This disaster, which represents the highest contamination levels ever recorded in the country, resulted in the immediate declaration of a state of emergency, the prompt evacuation of 10,000 residents from an area covering roughly 10 square kilometers, and has ignited widespread concerns regarding environmental degradation, public health, and industrial safety practices. In examining the origins of this incident, it becomes evident that the root causes lie in a series of industrial safety lapses and neglected maintenance protocols. The aging storage tank, whose structural integrity had been compromised over decades of use, was clearly operating under outdated safety standards, a factor further underscored by a smaller, earlier spill that occurred in 2018 at the same facility. This previous incident, although less severe, should have served as a warning signal, yet it appears that the necessary reforms were not implemented, reflecting a systemic failure in regulatory oversight and corporate responsibility. Benzene, due to its classification as a carcinogen by the World Health Organization, presents significant risks even at minimal exposure levels, making the scale of this leak particularly alarming. Not only does this incident expose severe gaps in industrial safety protocols, but it also highlights the broader issue of infrastructural neglect, where outdated facilities continue to operate under conditions that no longer meet contemporary safety and environmental standards. The immediate impact of the benzene leak was both dramatic and far-reaching. Within minutes of the leak, first responders were deployed, arriving on the scene by approximately 3:30 a.m. Emergency crews, equipped with hazardous material suits and specialized equipment, swiftly began containment operations, while local authorities issued evacuation orders by 5 a.m. to safeguard the nearby residents from potential acute and long-term health effects. The scale of the emergency necessitated the deployment of a range of remediation techniques. Floating booms were quickly positioned in the local river to stem the flow of contaminated water, and teams commenced the arduous task of excavating soil to remove benzene-laden material. Despite these swift actions, the contamination levels in the river soared to 100 times above safe limits, raising urgent concerns about the viability of aquatic ecosystems and the broader implications for public health and environmental safety. The environmental consequences of this incident are profound, with the contamination rendering nearby agricultural lands potentially unusable for years to come, thereby threatening local food security and the economic stability of the region. From an economic standpoint, the ramifications are equally significant. The cleanup operation, which is estimated to cost millions of euros, represents a substantial financial burden not only for the local government but also for the national economy. In addition to the direct costs associated with environmental remediation, there is an expected wave of compensation claims from affected residents and businesses, which could further strain financial resources and necessitate a comprehensive review of industrial safety regulations. The economic impact of the disaster is also expected to have a ripple effect on investor confidence in the industrial sector, particularly in regions where legacy infrastructure continues to pose serious risks. The potential for long-term legal battles and the ensuing reputational damage to Chemco Limited underscore the importance of rigorous maintenance protocols and proactive safety measures in preventing such catastrophic incidents. The governmental response to the crisis has been swift and multifaceted. On 16th March 2025, in the wake of the incident, a state of emergency was officially declared, a move that enabled the mobilization of additional resources and the implementation of extraordinary measures designed to mitigate the ongoing environmental damage. The Czech Ministry of Environment, in close coordination with local authorities, has allocated substantial funds towards the cleanup efforts, while also launching a comprehensive investigation into the operational practices of Chemco Limited. This investigation aims to uncover the extent of negligence and determine whether the company's safety protocols met the regulatory standards required to operate such high-risk facilities. Alongside these immediate measures, government officials have begun discussions regarding long-term policy reforms, which include the introduction of stricter chemical storage regulations, enhanced environmental monitoring, and the implementation of public health campaigns aimed at educating communities about the risks associated with chemical exposure. These steps are not only critical in addressing the current crisis but also in preventing future incidents of a similar nature. On a technical level, the failure of the storage tank can be attributed to a malfunctioning pressure relief valve, a critical component in managing the pressures within the tank, especially when storing volatile compounds like benzene under high-pressure conditions. This technical failure, combined with the plant's overall outdated infrastructure, created the perfect storm for a disaster of this magnitude. Cleanup efforts are now being guided by established environmental engineering practices, which involve using physical barriers such as booms to contain the spread of the benzene spill, as well as deploying advanced soil excavation and water treatment methods that utilize activated carbon to absorb and neutralize the hazardous substance. However, one of the major challenges faced by engineers and environmental scientists is the persistent nature of benzene, which can remain in soil and water for extended periods, thus requiring ongoing monitoring and remediation efforts that could span several years. This technical complexity, combined with the scale of the contamination, underscores the necessity of integrating modern engineering solutions with stringent regulatory oversight to ensure that such incidents do not recur. It is also important to consider the human element in this unfolding drama. Key figures have emerged in the public discourse, each playing a pivotal role in managing the crisis and shaping the narrative that is now unfolding both within the Czech Republic and on the international stage. The mayor of Ostrava, Jan Novak, has been at the forefront of the local response, coordinating efforts with emergency services and ensuring that affected residents receive timely information and support. Meanwhile, Petra Svobodova, the Minister of Environment, has been instrumental in directing national-level efforts, overseeing the allocation of resources for the cleanup, and initiating the investigation into Chemco Limited's operational shortcomings. At the corporate level, the CEO of Chemco Limited, Martin Kova, now finds himself under intense scrutiny, with regulatory bodies and the public alike questioning the company's commitment to safety and accountability in light of the repeated lapses that have culminated in this catastrophic event. The involvement of these key stakeholders highlights not only the complexity of managing industrial crisis but also the critical importance of effective leadership and transparent communication during times of emergency. Beyond the immediate technical and administrative responses, the benzene disaster in Ostrava also raises broader questions about industrial practices and environmental policy in today's world. This incident has sparked a global conversation about the sustainability of legacy industrial facilities and the urgent need to modernize infrastructure to meet current safety and environmental standards. In many ways, the disaster serves as a stark reminder of the long-term consequences of neglecting maintenance and the risks inherent in operating outdated industrial equipment. It challenges policymakers, industry leaders, and environmental scientists to rethink existing paradigms and adopt more forward-looking approaches that prioritize both human health and environmental preservation. For those preparing for competitive exams, this case study is particularly valuable as it encapsulates a range of topics, from environmental science and industrial safety to economic impact and regulatory frameworks, that are critical in understanding the multifaceted nature of modern industrial disasters. As we continue to analyze this event, it is essential to consider the interplay between immediate response actions and long-term preventive measures. The rapid deployment of emergency services and the swift issuance of evacuation orders underscore the importance of having robust contingency plans in place. Yet, these reactive measures, while critical, also highlight a reactive rather than proactive approach to industrial safety. The investigation into the incident is likely to shed light on the systemic issues that have plagued Chemco Limited for years, and it is hoped that the findings will prompt a comprehensive overhaul of safety standards not only within the company but across the entire industrial sector in the Czech Republic. Moreover, the incident has reignited debates about the role of government oversight in regulating hazardous industries, with many experts arguing that stricter controls and more frequent inspections could have prevented this disaster from occurring in the first place. The health implications of benzene exposure cannot be overstated. Benzene is known to cause a range of acute and chronic health effects, from dizziness and respiratory issues in the short term to severe conditions like leukemia over prolonged exposure. In light of the high levels of contamination now present in the local river and surrounding soil, health officials are closely monitoring the affected population, conducting regular medical screenings, and advising residents on how to minimize their exposure to this hazardous substance. The World Health Organization's guidelines on benzene exposure have been central to shaping the public health response, providing benchmarks that help determine safe exposure levels and informing the development of both immediate and long-term health strategies. As the cleanup progresses, it is anticipated that medical professionals and environmental scientists will work in tandem to assess the full impact of the exposure, drawing on a combination of clinical data and environmental monitoring to ensure that all affected individuals receive the necessary care and support. In addressing the environmental impact, experts have expressed concerns about the long-term repercussions of the benzene leak on local ecosystems. The contamination of the river, which now far exceeds safe limits, poses a severe threat to aquatic life and disrupts the natural balance of the ecosystem. Fish and other aquatic organisms, already stressed by pollution and habitat loss, may experience heightened mortality rates and reproductive challenges, potentially leading to long-term ecological imbalances. Additionally, the contamination of soil in the affected area raises the possibility that agricultural activities in the region could be severely disrupted, with crops absorbing benzene and thereby entering the human food chain. Such scenarios underscore the importance of integrating environmental safeguards into industrial practices and adopting remediation technologies that are capable of addressing both immediate contamination and long-term ecological damage. As we reflect on the lessons learned from this incident, it is clear that there is an urgent need for systemic reform in the way industrial safety is managed, particularly in sectors dealing with hazardous chemicals. The benzene disaster in Ostrava is not an isolated event, but rather a symptom of a broader trend in which outdated infrastructure and lax regulatory oversight create conditions ripe for disaster. This case serves as a powerful reminder that investments in safety and maintenance are not optional luxuries but essential components of responsible industrial management. It calls on policymakers, industry leaders, and the public alike to engage in a constructive dialogue about the future of industrial safety, emphasizing the importance of modernizing facilities, enforcing rigorous safety standards, and fostering a culture of accountability and transparency within high-risk sectors. For students and professionals preparing for competitive examinations, the benzene disaster offers a rich vein of material from which to draw insights. it provides an opportunity to examine the intersection of environmental science, public health, and economic policy, while also offering a practical example of how theoretical principles are applied in real-world scenarios. The incident encapsulates key themes such as the importance of infrastructure maintenance, the risks associated with industrial negligence, and the critical role of government oversight in ensuring public safety. Moreover, it highlights the delicate balance between economic growth and environmental sustainability, challenging us to consider how industries can operate responsibly without compromising the health of the environment or the well-being of communities. In conclusion, as we continue to monitor the developments in Ostrava, it is imperative that we learn from this catastrophic event and take proactive steps to prevent future disasters. The lessons of the benzene leak extend far beyond the immediate technical and logistical challenges of containment and cleanup. They speak to a broader need for a paradigm shift in industrial practices and environmental governance. By embracing modern safety protocols, investing in state-of-the-art remediation technologies, and fostering a culture of accountability, we can work towards a future where such incidents become a rarity rather than a recurring threat. Answer this question in comments. The correct answer will be given hot and pinned. Lastly, we just want to let you know that we are a newly emerging online platform for competitive exams. Creating educational explainer videos like these requires a lot of effort, money, and time. If you like these videos and want us to excel and create videos in all categories of competitive exams, then you can consider supporting us with a one-time donation through the Ko-fi platform and also by becoming a member through Patreon. This will help us create more such informative educational videos in the competitive exams space. So, one last time, subscribe and share this channel with all your friends who are preparing for competitive exams. And also, follow us on social media platforms. The links are given in the About section of the channel and also in the video description. So, see you in the next video.